Hello, welcome to HTML5 tutorials, chapter 6, HTML5 new form elements, brought to you by Ankpro Technologies. My name is Harish. In this session, we are going to learn about the new form elements in HTML5. So HTML5 has introduced some interesting form elements to make the form more precise and useful. And below are the new form elements. They are data list, output, key generation, and meter. These are the new form elements, okay, which are being introduced in HTML5. So let us understand each of them very clearly. So the first form element is data list. So the data list element, it specifies a list of predefined options for an input element. Okay, we already know like what is select tag. Okay, in the select tag we will be having a list of options. Okay, we can select the particular thing. Okay, and similarly we have something called data list. So what data list element does is it specifies a list of predefined options for an input element. The data list element is used to provide an autocomplete feature on input elements. So this is a specialty of this data list tag. It's going to provide an autocomplete feature on input elements. The users will see a drop down list of predefined options as they input the data. You can observe here, okay, this is the control, okay, input type text, and to that what we are specifying is we are specifying the attribute called list, and to that I'm specifying my data list ID. So when I focus on this, it gives me a drop down button, the pointed arrow downwards. When I click on that, it shows me the list of options present there, so I can select any one of them. Apart from that, the data list element is used to provide an autocomplete feature. You can observe here with this options we have HTML, Angular, HTML5, Node, and .NET. So you can observe very clearly, I'm typing H in this control, so it's giving me autocomplete, okay, feature. So it's showing me all the options starting with HTML and HTML5. This is the specialty of data list. So without wasting much time, let me jump into Visual Studio Code and let me show you a demo of this. It's very simple. So here comes my Visual Studio Code. So what I'll do is first let me take a form element. As of now, let me remove this action, it's not necessary. So when I come here, what I need to do is I need to tell like select skill. So I'm telling like input type text, but I'm going to specify the list. As of now, I'm going to give the value for the list attribute empty. After that, what I'll do is I'll generate a data list tag. Inside to the data list, I'm going to assign an ID. So the ID will be skills list. So let me copy and paste this. Let me paste it here. And now what I'll do is I'll add an option. So the value, so let me remove this tag, not necessary. So the value will be HTML. So let me copy and paste it. HTML5. Let me arrange them very clearly such that it looks good. So here is Angular. Let me add Angular. And it's HTML5. It's .NET. Okay. Then let me add the things. So let me remove this as of now. And what I'm going to add here is Node.js. So when I do Control S, okay, what I've done is I'm having an input type text. To that I'm assigning a list attribute which takes the value of this data list ID. So when I push this page to the browser, let me show you how it renders there. When I double click on this, it's navigating us to the Chrome browser. Let's wait for that, and here it comes. So let me zoom this. Okay, it's been already zoomed. So you can observe here when I focus on this, you can observe I'm getting this pointed arrow downwards. When I click on that, you can observe I'm getting HTML, Angular, HTML5, .NET, and Node. This is the specialty of data list. So to the simple input type text control, we are passing a list attribute. The list attribute value will be the ID of this data list. So this data list is going to give a list of options present inside the tag. Okay, so when I over on this, you can observe very clearly when I over on this, I'm getting this pointed arrow downwards, so I can select any one of them. Okay, can observe here. Now let me remove all these things. Now when I click again, I can select Angular. Okay, apart from that, let me explain you something else. You can observe very clearly here, the data list element is used to provide an autocomplete feature on input elements. So right now you can observe very clearly in my options I have two options starting with the letter H. So it's going to give me auto complete. So when I type H, you can observe here it's showing me HTML and HTML5. This is the auto complete feature. When I click HTML, you can observe very clearly it is selecting the entire word, or when I select, or when I refresh, or when I type something Angular, it's showing me the auto complete feature. So I can select that, okay, and I can press enter. This is what the autocomplete feature is, and that autocomplete feature is provided by this data list new element, new form element which has been added in HTML5. So this is what the advantage of using this data list. So simple input type text control can act like a selected tag with the help of this data list. So let me go to the next element, that is output. The output element is the semantically correct element for displaying the results of a calculation from form elements. So within the form, what we can do is we can calculate the things. Okay, we can show the output with the help of this output tag. So without wasting, here is a piece of code. You can observe here. Right now I'm going to code the exact code what is present here. So what I'll do is let me jump into Visual Studio Code and let me start coding for that. The tag, the data, sorry, the element what we are going to learn is output element as of now. So what I'll do is first I've taken a form, okay, and so let this form be of billing details, okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a paragraph. Inside the paragraph I'm going to add a label. So the label, let me remove this as of now, this is not important. So let me tell like it's build hours, okay, it's build hours. Then what we're going to do is we're going to specify input type is number, so it's going to take the number, and I'm going to make use of min uh, attribute. So this we are going to learn in the next session, like what is min attribute, and this is min, and I'm going to set the ID as hours, and let me name it also as hours itself. Okay, this is what about paragraph is. Let me make a multiple copies of it. So right now it's for build hours. Let me take something like it's for label charge, okay, input type is number, minimum 0, the ID, let me go with charge, and the name I'm going to give it as rate, sorry, it's rate, fine. And the last thing is, instead of build hours, we can give something like others. I'm just coding the same example which I've shown in my presentation. Okay, and this is also input time number, then ID we are going to give it as extra, it's extras, and the name is, so it is something like extra, so we can calculate, we can give a name as VAT, the tax what we collect, and the value will be to this by default I'm going to give it as 0.30, okay. And apart from that I need to take another paragraph, let me paste it here. So let me remove this total strong, so let me specify it in the dollar. So right now we are going to make use of the output tag. So to this output tag what I'm going to give is first the name, and I'm going to set the name as amount, okay, amount, and ID is amount also I'm going to give the same ID, and that's it. So right now what I'll do is, like, let me set the value, the output as 0 by default, that the output be 0 right as of now. So right now our job is not finished. Okay, now if I'm using a output tag, so in the output we have to calculate the things. So what we need to do is, to the form, okay, we have to specify something called on, okay, on input. Okay, what it has to take is, it has to take this amount. Okay, what we're given here is the name, or ID, amount. So it has to take the value from that control. In the sense, it has to take the value from this output control. So how do I can I take the value? With the help of this value. Okay, amount value is equal to, so we are going to calculate with the help of ours, this one, this ID, and I'm going to take value as a number, value as number. Okay, and let me multiply it first with the charge, this one, and let me copy and paste this as a number. And later what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add with these. Okay, and let me copy and paste this. So let me copy this and let me paste it here again. Okay, but what I need to do is, oh sorry for that, what I need to do is, I need to specify this inside that curly brace itself. So here I'm going to paste it here, our as value as number, then it is, instead of, yeah, this ID we have to take it extra, not this. Extra. Okay, now let me push this page to the browser. Let me see how it renders there. Oh, it comes like this. Okay, now what I'll do is, now I'll increase the build to 2 and the charge is 2. So you can observe here what we are doing in our, this is the output what we are getting. Okay, we did not do any calculation. Okay, it's happening by itself. So let me specify 2, and here it is 2, so it's calculating by itself. So in what manner it has to calculate, that formula we have specified here on input. Okay, fetch the value from this output tag by its ID, amount dot value, take the value, and it has to take the value from this respective IDs from the hours. So the value is fetched, hours dot value as number, and into charge dot value as number. So in the sense, hours and charge is going to calculate from this to build hours and charge. So it is 2 cross 2 is 4. Okay, and apart from that, what it is trying to do is, the second set, it is hours into extra. Since this control, the value in this control into this control, the value in this control. So 2 cross 2 is 4 plus 2 cross 0.0.3, it's 4.6. This is how the output tag works. Suppose if I enter 1 cross 1, okay, now the value is 0.30. By default we're getting this value. Why? Because we have set it in our this control, like value default is 0.30. I can increase it if I need it. Okay, I can increase to 0.2. Okay, now let me enter 2 cross 2. So 2 cross 2 is 4 and 2 cross 0.2 is 0.4. So addition of these two is 4 plus 0.4 is 4.4. This is how the output tag is going to help us. Okay, I repeat, this is how the output tag is going to help us. It's very simple. Okay, the output element is the semantically correct element for displaying the results of a calculation from form elements. So with the help of the output tag, we did a simple calculation. You can observe very clearly we did a simple calculation here. Okay, and we are displaying it in the output tag. Okay, and so let me jump back to presentation, and we are going to learn the next tag, that is key generation. The key generation element, what it does is, it creates a public key or private key / private key. The private key is encrypted based on the choice and stored in the local key database. The public key is sent with the form data. Also, it's way for complicated than that. Okay, two keys are generated using during the submission of form. One is private and other one is public. Keep in mind the private key is stored locally and the public key is sent to the server. The public key could be used to generate a client certificate to authenticate the user in the future. Okay, this control, what we are going to do in this session is I'm just going to show you like what are the things it gives when we make use of this key generation tag. Okay, and after that we're not going to discuss much about that. It's we need to write some backend code, okay, if we want to integrate completely with this key generation tag. So as of now what it's going to give is, let me jump into this tag and let me remove this form first. So let me add a form. So let me remove this as of now, it's not necessary. So in this form what we are going to do is I'm going to tell like, okay, username input type text, this is very simple, and encryption. So key generation name security, this is what we are going to give. So let me see what it's going to render there. So first is user name, this is very simple, we know it, input type text. And apart from that what we are going to do is again encrypt. So we are making use of, okay, the tag called key generation tag. So this is how the tag looks, keygen. So we're going to name it. So once we name it, it is going to, so we can give the name as of our wish. So let me take what I've given there, like let me give it as key itself. Okay, and let me add break line and telling like it's input type submit. Okay, and let me add a break line here too, such that it looks good. I push it on the browser. So it comes like this, username, and when I make use of this key generation, okay, this tag, and I'm specifying the key, the name as key, so it's going to return us something. You can observe here 2048 and 1024. So as of now don't need to worry about this, what how this works, okay, but just you have to keep in mind this is what the key generation element is going to give us. It's going to give us public key and private key, and private key is stored locally and the public key is sent to the server. So this we can understand like when we write much code, when we integrate this with the backend code. As of now it's our objective is just to understand the new form elements present in the key generation. So I'm just showing you the thing like how it renders when I make use of that tag in the web page. It's going to return me two values, that is 2048 and 1024. Okay, this encrypt values, fine. And now let me jump back to presentation, and here comes the meter. This is a new form element. Okay, the meter element represents a scalar measurement within a known range or a factorial value. For example, disk usage, the relevancy of a query result, or the fraction of voting population to have selected a particular candidate. So let me show you a demo of it. It's very simple. So what I'll do is let me go back here, let me remove this. So I have to take a meter. Okay, here I'm going to specify two attributes, min, minimum, the value should be the 0, and the maximum value, let us take it as 100, and current value will be 55. Okay, so I'm going to do like it's 55 out of 100. Yes, let me copy and paste it thrice. Going to arrange the things properly. And next what I'm going to do is let me remove this as of now. Let me give some other attributes here. So I'm going to pass directly the value. The value is 0.5 or zero point 0.2, whatever it is, and I'm going to specify the title to it, telling like title percentage. And what I'll do is let me encrypt this meter tag inside a paragraph. So let me cut and paste this. So the value is 39. So the minimum value will be 0, maximum is 100. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of other two, that is low is 40 and let me set highest by I. Yeah, we have a high, and I'm going to set it as 90. So let me remove this and let me tell it like it's a D grade, and this is 0.5 percentage. That is what we are given, 0.5. 0.5 percentage. Go back and let me refresh. Okay, you can observe here we're getting some blocks. Okay, some pipe symbol with the color, some color happened, color, we're getting something color like based on the calculation. So what I'll do is, before this, let me tell like score is, so let me go back and let me refresh. Oh, this is your score. So what I've done here is I'm making use of this meter element. So currently my value is 39. So if I specify 40, you can observe here some change happens in the this color. Okay, you can observe here it's been set to green. Suppose if I uh, entered the value as above 95, let me see what it's going to render. Oh, the color is changed, the range. So what you have specified is if it is 40 and if it is between 40 and 90, okay, it's going to give us the color as, let me specify 89. It's going to give us the color green, I guess. Yes, and if it is above, okay, if it is above 91 the value, so it's going to give us this color yellow. And if it is below, okay, keep in mind if it is below 40, that is 39, it's going to give us the red color which indicates the danger. Sorry, it's not going to give us, so yeah, okay, 39 yellow, sorry. If I specify 41, it's going to give us a red, I guess. No, green. So what I'll do is if I specify 20, what is the value I'm going to get? Okay, this is yellow. So this is what the meter element is. Okay, based on the meter element represents a scalar measurement within a known range or a fractional value. For example, disk usage. So in our systems, or we can divide our disk, okay, of this GB or of that GB. But once the space is it's almost complete, so it changes the color of the disk. Okay, it turns to red, indicating like you have less space on this disk right now. So this is what we can achieve that. If you want it, or if you want the same thing on the web page, we can achieve that with the help of this meter tag, meter element. This is new form element. So this is what we learned in the session. Like we learned 4 new elements, new form elements. They are data list, output, key generation, and meter. So finally, thank you for listening. Have a great day. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel Ankpro Training. You can also like our Facebook page visiting this URL. You can also follow us on Twitter. For further reference of our website, we're on LinkedIn too. Last but not the least, please don't forget to give the feedback. Thank you. Have a great day.